Hey, I'm 5, and today we're looking at some changes that have been made to Wrecking Ball. We had a new patch drop yesterday, and it claims to fix a bug where Wrecking Ball could hit an enemy much faster than intended with roll damage. This is pretty loose phrasing, but this feels like some sort of timer being introduced that prevents a player from being knocked by the same Wrecking Ball multiple times in a row. And this makes lots of ball tech like double boop or drop boop. All those multi-boop techs are now very different to pull off, and I think a few techs are completely gone. Now there might be people that point to this and say, look, Blizzard never wanted double boops all along, double boops are a bug, you've been exploiting the game, things like that. But double boops are very much still possible on this patch, it's just a lot slower to pull off. And I'm instead taking this as a response to a specific exploit that was gaining a lot of traction on social media, where players were showing that they could move in a straight line and deal huge amounts of damage with one use of grapple. Clips like these would get quite a lot of traction throughout June, and we'd get a response from Blizzard themselves, identifying the interaction as an exploit and promising a fix in the near future. And while this patch has made a lot of the tech you might enjoy less practical and less convenient to use, it has done its job of fixing this interaction, and these changes are somewhat in line with how I thought the dev team felt about ball tech, and this marks the second time they fixed a bug with fireball mechanics while leaving double boops in the game. We've even seen double boops in the Overwatch League, and I've heard directly from an OWL player that they're allowed to be used. Now you might not agree with this, you might hate that double boops are in the game, and I can go and find people that will defend the original exploit and say this is something that should stay in the game. I think there's going to be a different subjective line for everyone, and we're forever going to be at the mercy of Blizzard and what they see as right for the game. But to me, this patch sort of fails Blizzard's opinion themselves of what they wanted to achieve, because despite this patch seemingly saying no to fireball damage being chained close together, we can still do that. And double boops in a vanilla form that they recognize to be okay are suddenly much more awkward and impractical than before. With the urgency of needing to fix a literal one-shot, I can understand the dev team feeling the need to get a fix out there as soon as possible. But I'd definitely like to see these changes being revisited. I think the timer could afford to be a lot lower, but I also don't agree with the overall method of tracking whether a player's been booped or not, since it seems to use the same line of sight check that Soldier Visor does, and on a fast hero like Wrecking Ball, we end up with cases of people accidentally dealing twice as much damage as they meant to. I think given enough time we'll be able to arrive at a better fix for this, but the one thing I do come away from this patch happy about is Wrecking Ball's movement still feels the same. If it was just me on a server, I wouldn't know anything had changed.